All right. I think we've got everyone here. Raj, you good? Sergey, Pavel?
Yep, all clear. It's a pleasure to be here.
I hear ya. Perfect. Okay. All right. So good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. This is the first time we've had a Discord AMA in a minute. And so very, very excited to do this. We have some special guests today. We have DAOBox, who has been, as you know, doing essential work in getting our DAO together as we move into this next stage of our of development. So I'm glad to have them here. Glad to have them talk to you guys and explain what's going on. And then also we have the members of the Quantix Capital Group. They are here to talk to you about what they are going to be doing with our project and what plans they have for us and what they've done in the past. So with that being said, let's get started. So gentlemen, how are you?
Doing great on my end, and it's definitely, I would like to say that again, it's a pleasure to be here representing Quantix and also giving it a good start for the collaboration between NFAI and Quantix with the recent capital commitment that we have infused. A lot of new things that we would love to introduce to the ecosystem, bring value from our end in whichever way possible. Definitely, we have been in discussions with Poseidon and some of the core teams at NFAI in terms of what we think the true potential is and how Quantix as a team can help sort of extract the true value for NFAI, especially within this space and during this current bull market. Definitely a lot to sort of capitalize on. And we understood the value of what you guys are building, and it's a pleasure to be a part of the family for sure.
The pleasure is mutual here, Raja, and we really kicked it off immediately as we met, and you guys have some great ideas and great plans for us, in addition to a great track record. And, it was just a match made in heaven, I'd say. So glad to have you in the family, and look forward to introducing you guys to the community.
Definitely.
Now, Pavel, Sergey, how you doing? You guys hear me? DAOBox. They might have some issues with their mics.
Yeah, seems like it's muted.
Yeah, you guys are muted over there, DAOBox. Oh, okay, so there's a small technical problem over there. Okay, so here's what, let's maybe get, Raj, maybe you and I we can start chatting, and then as DAOBox guys fix this, they can jump right in. So, yeah, let's do that. So, Raj.
Especially with Discord, we know how it is, and always lagging behind.
Exactly. You just got to roll with it, right? So yeah, while we wait for him, let's start off. Let's tell us a little bit about Quantix and what you guys do over there. Tell us a little about your story and history.
Of course. So Quantix is an investment and incubation firm based out of Kuala Lumpur and London. We sort of have introduced ourselves to the Web3 market for quite some time. I would say more than 6 years at this point. But we were working on the back ends behind the scenes, helping some of the institutional guys set up quite well. We recently introduced a new incubation model, which NFAI is also one of the initial partners to sort of come into. We have worked with some reputable names in the space for the last 2.5 years, helped them with different elements that we sort of felt are necessary for, I would say, Web3 tokens or Web3 projects to sort of maximize the potential of what they can actually do. And sometimes, even if you have a great idea or a great execution of what you want to do in the long run as well, some crucial elements we felt like market making, those specific elements of understanding the markets was lacking for different founders that were trying to explore the Web3 space in the best way possible. And being founders, there are basically 3 main venture partners at Quantix Capital. We have launched 100+ projects of our own in the space itself face those challenges that we feel other founders launching projects in the space face. That's something that we wanted to target, especially in order to make the journey smoother for projects that want to sort of thrive. Especially in such a dynamic and fast-paced industry, it's really important to make sure that your strategy and what you exactly want to do is clear from day one, right? And that's where we come in, however we can, to sort of bring in value from our perspective through different services and different value add points that we feel that the project might be lacking towards. And with our support, they're able to sort of maximize on those different building blocks that sort of help them strengthen their initial foundation overall.
Wonderful, wonderful, and that is something that we definitely have a need for. Our track record, I'd say, when it comes to the ability for us to build product or to generate ideas, very, very good. But to communicate and market that, it's something that is I come from the Web2 world, and I'd say very humbling experience in the last year, just working on being able to translate and communicate with a very different market than I was used to. Our team was used to. So
especially with the there's a big comparison between the Web2 industry and the Web3 industry in terms of how the user onboarding works, how you exactly connect with the audience. That's something that is really crucial with such a strong message that you guys are trying to put across. And that was one of the main elements that we thought that yes, this project has potential. And with the right steps ahead of them, they can definitely crack in a spot in the market that they should have, And that was one of our inclinations towards taking this step forward. And as you mentioned initially, it was a really quick sort of partnership as well. We really connected from the first call itself. And we definitely believe in what you guys are doing and want to give all that we can from our end to support it from different elements, be it from strategic partnerships or connecting you guys to the right people or the right projects that might help bring the right recognition NFAI deserves overall.
Perfect. Yeah, no, it's and I'm sure that's something that you guys have definitely experienced with many other projects, throughout the space. So I would say that's something that you found particularly with DeFi projects.
Exactly. So specifically, I would say there's one misconception in the space that we usually saw that sometimes what exactly you're building does not reflect directly with, let's say, your token price or where your market cap is, right? It's not about that the product does not work in the market. It's about how you're presenting it to the specific target audiences. And that's one of the main elements when we say we help in marketing. We don't just sort of connect you guys to, introduce your community to different influencers or KOLs that are just there to extract money or capital from the project itself. But we really sort of focus on the more narrative and core marketing standards of how exactly we can easily communicate what we're trying to do to the mass of the Web3 society itself and how we can target the users that actually would want to be a part and bring value to the ecosystem and the community in the best way possible.
Perfect. Just a moment, just address something with the community. I'm noticing that some people can hear, some can't. Sergey, you just said that a VPN just helped for you, so maybe it depends on the location that you're in.
Yeah, that's all for me.
Okay, perfect. So that worked for Sergey. If anyone's having any problems, perhaps a VPN will work. Back to you, Raj. So, with that being said, when it comes to especially DeFi projects projects like ours that are looking to partner with firms like yourself, we really avoided the VC space, especially because it seems to be a very predatory kind of market, especially in the Web3 space. But what really drew us to you was the focus on actually incubating as opposed to just extracting value, and especially given the commitment that you guys have given. In addition to the what I really liked is the term, the fact that you're going to be working along with us for a very, very long time. That's quite beneficial to the growth of this project as we steward this as into a community project as opposed to more of a centralized project.
Definitely, and it's really crucial, especially in order to make a strong spot in such a dynamic industry. It's really important to sustain and ensure that your project is able to sort of make through the initial 18-20 months of the struggling period. And you guys have already done that. Past year, you guys have already shown us what track records and what exactly you guys did, and we were honestly really impressed by that as well. And we knew that with the right steps ahead of us, we can take this to the next level and actually extract a large amount of market to sort of see and have the right exposure for NFAI overall.
Perfect. So we'll get back to you guys in a moment, Raj, and I'm sure everyone's very excited to also talk to DAOBox. So Sergey, you are here representing the boys over at DAOBox. How are you this morning? Well, I guess night for you.
Hello everyone, and thank you for the invitation. I'm very pleased to be here. Yeah, I'm representing DAOBox. Everything's great now. After I fixed the sound, so I'll be happy to answer any questions you might have.
Perfect. So, I mean, maybe Sergey, maybe start off by telling us a little bit about DAOBox.
Legal and related solutions for DAOs and Web3 communities. So our main focus is on structuring DAOs, creating legal wrappers, and then administering those wrappers. That's something that we're doing for your organization, for the DAO as well. And we have already did a pretty large amount of work related to structuring. So now we're, I'll just continue to tell what's happening, what's going on, what's the status. So
yeah, of course, everyone's already on the edge of their seats.
Yeah. So we have filed for the registration the DAO LLC in the Marshall Islands. This is a legal entity that recognizes all token holders as members of the DAO LLC. So following the registration, once the registration is completed, which we expect to occur in the beginning of May, so early May, we should have it registered, and we should have all documents confirming this. After that, the NFA DAO will be structured as a Marshall Islands DAO LLC. Will have a legal entity in place. All and every DAO member will have limited liability through this vehicle, because I'm sure, like many of you have heard, that DAO members are facing like legal issues related to their participation in the DAO, which arise due to the fact that those DAOs are unstructured and are treated as partnerships with unlimited protection, unlimited liability that their members have. And in our case, all token holders holding at least one token will be recognized as members. You won't need to undergo any KYC, any screenings, whatever. So all the records are kept on the blockchain. So once you acquire like any amount of tokens and a blockchain records that transaction, you're becoming a member. And same as that, you can just transfer your tokens to a third person, and together with those tokens, your membership will be transferred as well. So, yeah.
Perfect. And so maybe could you give a little background on the concept of a DAO wrapper, perhaps, just to familiarize everyone in space? I know that was something that was very new to me. Have you guys heard of that?
Sure.
Yeah, it would be good to learn for sure.
Yeah, so legal wrappers this commonly refers to an entity that the DAO uses to engage in real world operations, own assets, maybe have fiat payment accounts, and do all that like classic stuff that businesses normally do. Because unless you're legally structured, you don't have any legal entity or legal vehicle that you could use to sign contracts or to enter into agreements, to acquire assets, property, and so on. So unless the DAO has a legal wrapper in place, this means that from the legal standpoint, the DAO members are acting either on their own behalf, which means that they are potentially liable for any of those actions that they take with all of their property, or they're acting as an unincorporated partnership, which has pretty similar legal consequences in terms of liability, which is like pretty straightforward. That's bad for any DAO member, because, for example, each like any particular DAO member could be held liable or responsible for the activities of the whole DAO, and that sounds crazy. And so now, if the DAO gets a legal wrapper in place, it allows the DAO to conduct its operations through that wrapper effectively, as you would do that like in any business. I don't know, in any, like, imagine that you're creating a startup or a project, whatever, and you're like, one of the first things that you would do, you would establish a legal entity to conduct your business. And in this sense, this situation, it looks alike, but it's different because we have a DAO which must control that entity. And that's one of the issues that we face when we structure DAOs, because it's not an easy task to structure the wrapper in such a manner that the wrapper would be subordinate to the DAO. And it's very important because otherwise the management of the wrapper could take advantage of their powers, and they could act, for example, not in the interest of the DAO, but in the interest of their own, or in the interest of like some third-party actors, whatever. And through those systems of checks and balances that are properly implemented into the corporate structure, into the structure of the legal wrapper, we're achieving the states where the DAO, for example, your DAO will have full ultimate control over the wrapper. So there's like zero risk that management could usurp the power, for example, or take over the entity, because the DAO could at any time adopt a resolution to change the management, or adopt a resolution to direct the management to do something, or to not to do something, like refrain from doing something. And that's a good protection for the members. Furthermore, so once the DAO LLC for the NFAI DAO is established, it means that the whole DAO is wrapped into that DAO LLC, which is a good thing, as I mentioned, because each DAO member gets a protection on legal, regulatory, financial, and tax risks, especially tax, because not everyone looks at tax consequences, but they, at some point of time, they become important for many of actors in this industry. So yeah, the legal wrapper, it refers to some sort of legal entity that is created for the DAO to use in like real world operations or for some other purposes.
Yeah, I guess the best way to kind of, I guess, relate it is maybe like a holdco opco situation. I think also particularly maybe just to go over the benefits of going with this wrapper as opposed to a regular DAO, especially since that we're a DeFi project that's also performing DeFi activities. For us to be able to be future proof and to protect everyone, we went and went the extra mile, and hats off to the guys over at DAOBox and Nomos for spearheading this, but to ensure that everyone that is holding this token, no matter what, all things considered, will be as safe as possible to the extent of the law. And so
Yes.
This is the wrapper. The wrapper concept was something that we were immediately drawn to. We looked at many different DAO structuring organizations. None of them were as in depth and as understanding as you guys were of not just our project and our vision, but also on the importance of the safety of everyone who holds this. So we do appreciate that. And if anyone has any questions on that, we'd love to hear that.
Not any questions, but I would just like to say there are a lot of players I've seen traditionally, DAOs and DAO entities that are not sort of executing these things properly, and it's really good to know that DAOBox is sort of assisting us to ensure that we are making the right steps in the right direction to ensure a good long-term future for the project itself and ensure safety for the holders and the participants of the DAO, which is sometimes neglected, which I see from other entities. And if we're taking care of that, that's definitely a good step ahead in the right direction.
Exactly. And I mean, without things like that, we wouldn't be able to attract investment either. Like from you guys, safety is very, very important to us. So with that being said, so timeline. I know, Sergey, you mentioned where we're at. What are kind of next steps? If you'd like to give maybe a linear timeline some steps on what is next for us to move from here to complete DAO. Keep it simple, just so that everyone can go home with something to think about.
So first thing to say is that we're pretty much there in terms of creating a legal wrapper, creating DAOs. So we're just waiting for the government, for the Marshall Islands to accept documents and to register their organization, because it will come into existence only upon its registration. So we're just waiting now. All the structuring work has already been done, and the close communication with the core contributors of the DAO, of course, so everything is aligned. And once we have that registration ready, your DAO LLC will be created, and DAOBox will commence the administration straight away. And so we will be administering the wrapper, making sure that it's in good standing. We will be also managing some day-to-day activities, like some casual paperwork, and so on and so forth, maybe some contracts with contributors, etc. DAO will be able to use the wrapper to own assets. For example, to DAO transfer domain name, hosting, subscriptions, infrastructure, all that kind of stuff to the DAO wrapper to make sure that DAO is in control of those assets that are pertinent to the DAO. Then other use cases, it's pretty big list, as you can imagine. So I think we will open a fiat payments account for this organization so that it is able to pay for subscriptions at least. So that's a common situation is when DAO members are paying some bills from their own cards or bank accounts, and that's not very advisable. And by transferring those subscriptions and everything to the DAO wrapper, it just solves this issue. And same as that, you could transfer the IP rights to the wrapper, for example, the rights in everything we develop or developed. You could register a trademark if you want to protect your domain name or protect your goodwill. You could apply for grants, because nowadays grants are rarely given to unstructured DAOs. So normally they need to have some sort of entity in place, because grants giving projects are pretty much aware of the legal risks that dealing with unstructured DAO entails. So But from the subsequent steps, we're just waiting for this organization to be registered. And once that's completed, DAO can start using this DAO straight away. So DAO can determine some goals, determine what activities it wants the DAO wrapper to conduct or engage in, and so on and so forth. It's really flexible.
Exactly. And, there's a couple of questions that people had on, of course, how do we maintain, hosting? How do we pay expenses? Things like that are very, very important for an organization. And that right there explains it. This wrapper system allows us to be able to have, essentially corporate accounts that we'll be able to use going forward in perpetuity. So that is very, 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 very good for us. And it's not something that's very common with your run-of-the-mill DAO. So, the wrapper system is...
Yes. Another important point to consider, not to consider, but just to discuss or to disclose, is that the DAO doesn't have to transfer the DAO treasury contracts and all that stuff that creates the on-chain value for the DAO to the wrapper. So the DAO can continue operate it and manage it as is in an on-chain environment. And there is no risk of us taking control over those assets as administrators of the wrapper, because you can just retain those. And for example, if the DAO wrapper needs some funding, for example, to cover expenses, to pay bills, to pay subscriptions, hostings, whatever, the DAO can just allocate the necessary funds, for example, for a year, or for 2 years, or for 6 months, as the DAO decides, just for the wrapper to have those funds in its possession.
Perfect. Just want to take some questions from the box there. So First of all, will DAOBox advise the team on, for example, voting mechanism? That's from Patricia.
Yeah, we could, but eventually a DAO needs to decide on the voting mechanisms that are the best choice for it. So normally people use existing venues for voting, if I understand the question correctly, like Snapshot. So technically this solves the voting issue. Any votes on Snapshot will be recognized as the vote of DAO members, DAO members and token holders. And it's pretty straightforward. So once the vote has passed, it has the requisite quorum, which is 30%, I believe. And the vote passed, then it will be enacted.
Perfect. Yeah, no, of course, once the DAO framework is completed and the rules and regulations are going to be provided to the DAO, of course, that's how everything will be operated. And of course, amendments and whatnot. There's stipulations in there for the DAO to make amendments in the future. Next question. So we've got Omu. Where's my mouse? Decides not to work now. Omu's question. 1 second. I have to go to my phone. We'll just go to Jess's question. It's a very long one, so maybe you should read that one and then go for it. So I think it says next up the DAO completed. Oh, she's just summarizing. Okay, perfect. Omer, you're good? Given what you've heard, Raj, on the DAO side of things, what kind of experience does Quantix have working with DAOs and in frameworks such as these?
Especially when it comes to DAOs overall, from our perspective, it is really an effective way to sort of execute decentralized operations in the best way and to ensure a safe and secure environment for the community of the project itself. It really helps us sort of effectively execute different strategies that we want to execute from, you can say, the market making side or the marketing side itself, to ensure that the community is safe, as long as we're also executing the right actions on the other side to bring in value through either the token price or volume generation or other elements. Just to sort of add in, some additions on what we are sort of focusing with NFAI in the coming couple months is specifically we're going to focus a lot on the marketing side. We're going to drive a lot of value in terms of exposure of where we can sort of see the right target audience for us is. Other than that, market and price generation is also something that we're looking forward to execute after sort of evaluating the current pressures and where exactly we can sort of leverage our strategies and algorithms from quants to sort of help evaluate the market pressures, the order books fill-ups that are required. And Quantix Capital as an entity takes care of everything of that, so that DAO does not have any revenue pressure from that, and they don't need to release any extra capital to sort of execute these other elements that will be introduced in the future as well. Apart from that, we are sort of looking forward. We're already in talks to some tier 1 and tier 2 exchanges in terms of future listings. We have gotten a great response in terms of approval. Usually, that's a main element where we like to help projects as well. The listing periods on, if you go to tier 1, tier 2 exchanges, the process usually takes a long time. And we sort of mitigate that entire element where we have special connections for incubated projects with us. And you guys will have access to all the tier 1, tier 2 exchanges, be it from Binance, Coinbase, OKX. We have opportunities to sort of get on those major exchanges, which is some of excitement point for, I would say, community members hearing that. So we will be targeting for the best, depending on the situation of the token and the market itself. And wherever we feel we can drive value, we will for NFAI, be it through partnerships or price valuation or volume generation through different exchanges that we're listed on. Quantix as a team is sort of going all in with NFAI to get you guys the maximum value from our end.
Let's go. See if it's. I'm sure a lot of people will be very excited to hear that little tidbit that we've been chatting about, and that's a very, very big reason why we decided to shore this partnership up, and you guys have a very, very good track record on that side of things, and very well connected And I think one thing that people are kind of wondering about is within the incubation side of things. What things are you planning to do? Maybe if you say 3 things other than of course listings, but maybe 2 other things that are kind of on the docket for the next let's say 12 months.
Definitely. So especially for the short duration, one thing that we will be focusing on is ranking us up on CMC and CG, because that is where you get the organic introduction towards the traders that are active on CMC and CG looking for active projects. That's going to be one of our main goals, to ensure that the token and the chart looks attractive to even traders that are not yet a part of our community and who we feel could in the future add value to us by joining the community and even buying the tokens and bringing value or volume to the ecosystem itself. The other thing is that, as I mentioned, market making is one of our strongest suits. So definitely making sure that we get consistent price and volume generation in the coming 12 to 18 months to ensure that we bring in value not only from strategic partnerships or exchanges, but also as a monetary aspect for the holders itself. So they have an incentive to hold the tokens for a longer duration, and they'll be able to sort of redeem the actual value of the DAO itself. That I would say those are the 2 main elements that we will focus on. Marketing is definitely an added extent of what we can do. Other than that, definitely we will be focusing towards driving capital infusions towards the DAO and the project team as well. So you guys can execute what exact plans you have in mind for the future to sort of ease out the process, and you guys can solely focus on the product and the foundation of the DAO to ensure everyone has a good experience. Because I feel that is one of the most major elements that we have to focus on, is to ensure that our community has the best possible experience that they can have, especially with DAOBox and the founding team doing all the efforts that they are. So yeah.
Great answer. And I think that covers a lot of questions, especially on the use of capital. Just to kind of reiterate, use of capital is marketing, trending, incubation, market making. Did I miss anything?
No, sounds good. And just to, I know Poseidon, we were discussing this over chats as well. We haven't disclosed this yet, but just to give you an idea of the scale of marketing we're talking about. So one of our recent latest partners, I think in 2023, was Gala. We, as Quantix as a team, is really proud of that project, as we were able to sort of generate a good revenue side for them as well. We started working with them for market making and marketing 8 months ago, and they have seen a really positive response from either ends. We will be sort of looking forward to introducing you guys to a lot of other projects that are within our incubation, which we feel could be of value to NFAI overall, in terms of either it be bringing in utilities, bringing in strategic partnerships, even user bases, in terms of getting us the right exposure points. That's something that I personally handle, and I'll be looking forward to sort of maximizing potential for us over there.
Yeah, we are very excited that when you guys told us about we were looking at kind of your past projects and resume essentially, and you mentioned Gala and that movement. I think you said about 8 months ago. You look at the Gala chart after you guys took it on. It's insane how fast it moved up, and the ranking. I think it's was it top I would say top 100 right now. Top
100 right now. They were top 50 at one point as well. The main issue with Gala, as well as intrinsic, just from a token aspect, is that what we like to offer to projects, why our model really is effective and attractive to different projects coming in the space, is that we sort of try to avoid there's only one option right now for any project trying to launch in Web3. Either go for a pre-seed or pre-sale and raise tokens before you even launch the token. But most of the project founders don't understand that they raise funds early on, but as soon as their token price goes up, they're not able to sort of break through that. And they need a lot of capital to sort of support their order books, different exchanges they have to list on, different liquidities that they need to provide in order to sort of mitigate the sell pressure that's going to come from the initial investors. With our model, we sort of try to avoid that entirely from either different activities we do through market making and how we infuse capital. And as Poseidon also knows what we're trying to do in terms of capital infusions as well, in the long run, we will have sufficient capital to sort of execute any plans the fund or the DAO has in the future.
Exactly. It's well budgeted, which is great. It's honestly a pleasure to have you guys here. There's a lot of things that you guys bring to the table that honestly we do need assistance and partnership on. And it's an absolute pleasure that you guys looked at us and kicked the tires and seen exactly where we're trying to go with this project. And I think the sky's the limit going forward.
Definitely it is.
DAOBox, right?
Definitely.
So Raj, if you wanted to maybe look over in the side there, if you can see the messages, are any questions you want to take on there?
Let me check. Discord's bugging for me today too. I don't think I'm able to see the chat properly. Let me cross check once.
No worries,
I might need to rejoin.
No, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Let's see.
If you can, just read out to me any questions you like. I'll trust you.
Okay. Let's see what we got here. How about this? Anyone want to ask a question now? I'll choose one. I'll wait.
That's better.
Yep. Oh, it says several people are typing. Oh God.
Get ready. It's been quite some time since I've been on a Discord AM as well. Twitter's been holding me up for quite a few months.
Right. I know. Yeah, we had to show the Discord some love, so that's what we're having.
No, you have to. After Twitter, Telegram, Discord sort of been on the sidelines, but we all need to remember that was the OG days. when Web3 actually started. It was all on Discord. So
got to get back to the roots, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Here's the great one. Dagraz, when will we see marketing begin, and how can the community help?
Most definitely. So currently, this week and next week, we'll be strategizing the exact plans. Definitely, we'll be executing a few phone calls with the team itself in terms of understanding what their ideal plan of action is, of what their perspective in terms of narratives are, and then we can supposedly start. I would say May 1st week. That's when we sort of start aggressively from our end. The initial, I would say, 3 to 4 months will more focus towards organic marketing in terms of understanding our target audience, understanding what works and what doesn't work. Because one main element with marketing, there's a lot of different strategies you have to try, right? Depending on the project, depending on the target audience itself. Especially with Gala as well, what we try to do is the first initial months was all organic marketing. We did infuse a lot of influencers initially, but I personally feel unless and until you understand your target audience properly, it's a waste to sort of go to KOLs and influencers and infuse budgets or liquidations there. It's much better once you understand your right target market. You need to pick the right influencers, the right KOLs, the right brand ambassadors that are not just there for the money, right? But they're there to sort of help the project and they have value in the long run. They stay with the project for 6 to 8 months, help us get the right exposure with their communities or external communities as well. That's something that we will be focusing on. So we won't be onboarding any, KOLs or marketeers that might not hang with us for the long run, but we'll be very strategic in terms of who we engage with and how we take things forward. Everything's going to be properly strategized beforehand. So we're going to utilize the remaining days of, I would say, April in terms of, setting up a proper solidified plan of how we want to move forward with things, with the exact marketing campaigns we want to run in the future. Especially, we want to introduce a few strategic partnerships throughout a duration of 12 months, which we feel could be the right extract points to get the right user base for the NFAI overall. But yeah, that's the current plan. But of course, what we can do, Poseidon, I love doing AMAs overall. So every few weeks, we can organize such Discord calls, update the community on what the progress is, and what next steps we can go. From the community perspective, all you guys can do is just keep the amazing support you guys are, have been doing these days. I saw a lot of love on the Twitter post we made a few days ago for the capital commitment. Just keep up what you guys are doing, keep engaging, spread the word, because that's intrinsically the most important part. As long as the community stays together, anything is possible, and we're gonna make it.
Exactly. No, the sky's the limit here, and we did get a lot of engagement there on that post, of course, and going forward, I'd say the biggest thing too that people should look at, especially when we go into the marketing side of things, is that the team at Quantix, they're very adept at understanding the target market. That's something that we've tried a lot of different ways, and what we've seen is a tried and true track record here, which is what makes us extremely excited for this partnership. So with that being said, what this allows us to do, as Raj said, which I just want to repeat. It allows us to take a step back and focus on product and focus on things like Athena, Kade pools, product development, which is, especially with a smaller team that we have now, it's, it's very, very, very important for us to be focused. So it's the phrase is like, if you are whoever chases two birds catches a duck or something like that. It's exactly where we're at. So this is we're very, very excited for that, and it'll allow us to also just be able to get a better speed to market, which will help us in addition to the additional funding.
Definitely, and the best part is everyone has their right focuses, and now that the team has time and can sort of leave these things to us, and we'll make sure we do justice to it. We'll try our best, definitely, and get you guys to wherever we can on the top, and we'll take it from there.
Of course. So thank you so much, and I guess we're getting close to the end of an hour here, so just want to close things off also with Sergey and Pavel and the DAOBox team. So as you've been working with us, in the last couple of months, what kind of is your outlook for the next few months? Not just getting registrations, but also moving to transitioning to the DAO. What can our community look forward to?
We're just open to collaboration. So in case the DAO needs any help on our ends, in any sense, we're here to help. So we will be checking the Discord. We have already did that. We have already done it, and so we'll be monitoring it. We will be reporting to the DAO every now and then about the activities that we're managing, that we're administering, about things that are happening with the wrapper from the legal and corporate standpoints. And the DAO assigns and makes any assignments that has to be completed for the wrapper, and DAOBox has to handle it. We will handle it. We will solve the issue, not the problem, but we'll just make it happen and then report back that everything is done. And other than that, in terms of voting mechanisms or governance procedures, etc., if the DAO needs our help in that, we'll be happy to help as well. So just let us know, and we'll stay in touch. So we're here for a long time.
Perfect. And back to you, Raj. Any closing comments?
First of all, it was a pleasure to be here, and looking forward to more calls like this, sort of getting a chance to discuss and open up with the community so they're on the same page and they understand what's on the table. I would just say, me personally, I'm really bullish on NFAI, and I hope certainly all of the people in the chat are too. We have a long journey ahead, and now, as Poseidon mentioned, they were initially starting off with a smaller team, but now I would say they're a pretty huge team having us on board, and we're going to give it our all to make sure all the steps are executed in the right way, and we have everything that this project needs to sort of succeed, even in the coming 5 to 10 years, so we can have the right name, have the right exposure, and have the right community. And the DAO experience is the most crucial one with DAOBox here with us, and we'll be able to get everything done for sure.
I can't even follow that up. That's amazing, man, and very, very excited. I'm smiling. It's great. It's a new day for us, and the people that are here are I'd say the most loyal people in crypto. They've stuck by us through thick and thin, and they are
and they deserve to be rewarded. They deserve to be rewarded, and it's been quite a long time. Everyone's hanging in there. It's time to get in on some action, and it's time to get things done.
Exactly. Pitter patter. Let's get at her. So. Thank you, everyone. Thanks so much to the Voice of DAOBox and Quantix for joining us. Thanks to all the robots that were in attendance here and also on Telegram. Sorry about the technical issues, but I think we managed to fix it by streaming over there. And look forward to it again very, very soon. Thanks, guys.
Most definitely. Have a nice day, everyone. Take care.
Have a good one.